When creativity meets discipline, magic happens. Imagination fuels us. Hard work drives us. When passion takes over, barriers disappear. Welcome to the grind. Let's change the game together.
Hello and welcome to Awaken's next 2025 edition, and this is an event where we want to share with you our plans, our company, our team, and most importantly our passion for games, because this is why we are all here. Sit tight, hopefully you will enjoy a lot of really cool announcement this year. But as usual, before we'll go to the first announcement, let's start with a quick recap of 2024. It was a year of a lot of really cool crowdfunding projects we did together, and also a lot of delivered projects that hopefully you have a lot of fun with. So yep, let's roll the summary.
My favorite game from Awaken Realms is always the game I am working on right now. You know, the project we are developing at the moment always seems to be the most exciting, shiniest thing ever, full of potential, and that's why it's great. It's great to work on a new game, and I'm always very attached to the game I'm developing at the moment. So when I was developing Kings of Ruin, I would tell you that Kings of Ruin is the best game in the world. Now I'm working on Lands of Evershade, and I will tell you that Lands of Evershade is the best game in the world, but I know that in a year or two my answer will probably change.
2024 was quite a wild year. A lot of stuff happened. Thank you very much for all the support. Thanks to you, we are able to make all of that happen. But let's go to our first announcement, and this one is really special. One of our oldest board game that we want to revisit, and also one of the ones that we are most proud of. So let's just go into it. This War of Mine, the board game, is based on the legendary video games created by 11-bit studios. And there's a good reason for this game to be legendary, because whereas majority of the other video games and board games is talking about conflict from the perspective of a soldier, a general, all those heroic, epic combat things, where this War of Mine focuses on bringing you as a player into the shoes of everyday civilian, just trying to survive the city under siege. So it focuses on a totally different side of military conflict, and it brings you this very heavy perspective, very traumatic experience. And yeah, it is a very, very heavy game, but I also think that it's extremely important game to revisit, to bring back, especially in a nowadays world. The author of the board game, Michał and Jakub, has crafted not only a great board game per se, it has a good mechanism, a lot of cool story, and all of that, but also it is like even more so an important experience. It is heavy, but it is really worth to go through it, to kind of learn those stories. There was a lot of learning when we were working on it. There was like, we read a lot of journals, we need a lot of literatures, a lot of memories from the people who lived through those traumatic experiences. And we wanted to put you as a player into this world to kind of give you this extra perspective. So this War of Mine, the board game, will go as a second edition. This was one of our first games, so there's like a huge list of things that we know that we can do better. From components, definitely we can do a lot of components upgrades, up to rules adjustments, polishes in the UX and gameplay. So there's like a bunch of things that we can do to make the whole experience in general better. So that's the one reason. And also the second reason, in the campaign you'll have an opportunity to get all the previous content that you might have missed, and maybe some new content. I don't want to spoil too much, but there are things in preparations. So make sure to follow the campaign page now on GameFound. It will launch in Q2 of this year. And also make sure to share your feedback. We'd love to hear from you, what you liked, what you didn't like about the original game, what would you expect from the campaign, what would you like to see more from us in this campaign. Definitely love to hear your thoughts. It would be great to come back together and craft an experience, like an amazing experience. And with your feedback, I'm sure we can do an amazing second edition of This War of Mine, the board game.
We decided to make a new version of This War of Mine because this game is a foundation of modern Awaken Realms, one of the most important titles that we did. And as time is passing, we think that the game needs a new edition with brand new components, but with the same heartbreaking story.
Before we'll go to our second announcement, let's take a small break and see the Awaken Realms team. It's over 200 people that without them we'll not be able to create all those awesome games. Every day they put ton of work, ton of passion, ton of heart into all the games that are leaving our studio. They have an extreme attention to detail. They work really, really hard to make sure that you guys will have a lot of fun. So let's pay a small homage to all people of Awaken Realms.
The unique thing in working in Awaken Realms is that the organization is huge, and you may find it overwhelming at start, but after you enter it, you see that the people are very positive, very open and lovely, so you shouldn't afraid to enter.
Yeah, what I like most about the working at the board games, with the board games, is I think the early process, the early stage of the working on the games, where we are most creative, when we have a lot of ideas, we throw these ideas on ourselves, and we take those ideas and make them even better, even more creative.
No matter what your experience is, if you talk to anybody here, you will learn something. So it's a really great place to grow and to work with talented people.
You're not coming here to be alone, to work alone. You are supposed to enter the room full of people who are as much excited and as much passionate about what they're doing as you are.
And this might be a personal story of my own, because when I was applying for a job here, it was a very difficult time. I was unemployed for a time, I had a crumbling relationship, I dropped college. I had no one here, I had no connections, no flat to stay here, and it was a leap of faith. So my advice would be to sometimes take a leap of faith and have a goal in mind that you would like to achieve.
Favorite memory? You know, there's this one story going around in the company about a guy who years ago, in the first month of his employment, managed to delete the whole files directory and stopped all work in the company for a few days. Well, he may or may not be in this room. We will never know.
Walking here in Awaken Realms, I have learned that there is no growth without getting out of the comfort zone. I've heard this sentence in the podcast once and it sticks with me. Because here there was no mercy for my shy and introverted soul from the very beginning.
Because, you know, you have to stay focused all the time, you have to be on alert, and you need to be able to quickly adapt to different dynamics, both in your own project and the industry. And, you know, call me an addict, but I think that's thrilling.
The one advice I would give to a person wanting to join us is to be ready to self-improve, to be open-minded and versatile.
Time for a change of setting and a next installment in our special edition series. And this is a series where we bring back one of the best games ever created in the absolute ultimate best editions you can have, an absolute component grandiose. And this one, I think you'll be surprised about. Let's see the announcement.
How's Agricola like? And it's good.
But man, Agricola just ascends above all the other Euro games out there.
Yeah, it was really fun. I really enjoyed this one.
It's a very nice, very tight worker placement game.
We're gonna say yes, Agricola is absolutely worth playing.
Agricola, that one is pretty cool because not only it is one of the top 100 games of all times, one of the best games created, but also, you know, it gives you the opportunity to be a farmer, which is cool, but also for me personally, it was a game that I was able to play with my parents when I was younger, and in a way that we would have fun, because I am a huge power gamer, and whenever there's like a competitiveness around it and my parents are not power gamers, you know, we wouldn't have a good time. But with Agricola, you know, I could power game my farm and to kind of like maximize those crops and, you know, don't destroy others' experience. So spent a lot of time with Agricola, and that is why extremely excited to make sure that we bring it as a special edition. And just to kind of like give you our philosophy on special editions, something that we did with Castles of Burgundy and now working on Puerto Rico, our idea is not to just add, you know, miniatures and bunch of components to clutter the game. It's just the opposite. We want to elevate the gameplay with the components. So obviously we want to create something, an edition that will look absolutely beautiful and absolutely stunning on the table, but we also spend a lot of time thinking and playing and testing the components to make sure that the changes that we make in the layout of the game or the UX will enhance the gameplay, introduce a lot of quality of life that will make easier, you know, flipping the components and moving cards and doing all of that. And all of that goes into this kind of like a final edition of this classic game, the best you can get, the gem in your collection that you'll be happy to put out and kind of relive all the awesome memories that you had from the original Agricola. So this is something that we are very passionate about, to, you know, have the opportunity to work on one of the best games ever created, basically, and give them a second life, like the best, the final edition for collectors and board gamers around the world. And you can expect a lot of best quality components. You can expect a lot of quality of life upgrades, maybe some balancing and components that were missing. And also you can expect some new content that I don't want to spoil. But if you will follow the campaign that is right now on GameFound, you know, we'll be sharing you with news. We'll also ask about your feedback, what you liked, what you don't like, what you would love to see. So definitely something that we would love to kind of like keep the dialogue with you. So make sure to follow the campaign now on GameFound. But there is also one small more thing.
Life on the farm is simple, not easy. We plow, we sow, we tend, we harvest.
So this is a new standalone game based on Agricola. I'm pretty excited that this is happening, kind of very surprised, but we're here, that's awesome. So we had this crazy idea where we were like, hey, like, you know, Agricola is super cool games, but what if we would take it and also add a little bit of Awaken Realm-ish kind of dark side to it and kind of join it together, and we kind of like bounce the idea of the lockout, and they say like, yeah, let's do it, and we're like, awesome, okay, let's go. So we're here, and I am extremely excited to announce this project, because it will be like a standalone expansion, standalone game based on Agricola that will, yes, has the aspect of managing the farm and all that comes with it, but it will be managing a farm during a zombie apocalypse. So there's that. So the game will be totally new game, a little bit more heavier in terms of the gameplay, much heavier in terms of the team. But I think that it will be pretty cool thing to do. Really excited about, you know, bringing this kind of concept of farm management in the zombie apocalypse world. I think it's awesome. I'm really excited to be working on it. This campaign will launch in 2026. but we decided to announce it together because one, we are announcing original Agricola, so it will be cool also to announce this together. And second, I'm kind of a little bit too excited to wait a whole year with an announcement, so I just wanted to kind of like tell you all about it. The campaign, as I said, will launch in 2026, but the draft page is up and live right now, so make sure to follow the campaign. There will be a bunch of updates. We'll be, again, talking with you, asking about your feedback, reading all the comments. Maybe you have some awesome ideas that you can implement and together create something really special. So yeah, make sure to follow and share your feedback.
Why we are doing this? Because we want to show this great game, which is Agricola, to our standard backers, our people who backed games like Tainted, Grail, SS Vanguard, which like this Ameritrash vibe, I think.
Our third announcement is something totally new and fresh, and also much darker, a true horror experience. This is a topic that we like to go into, so check out the third announcement.
Ladies, gents, the enemy took over an abandoned asylum.
A group of visionaries answered the call of the empty halls.
Lookouts report chanting and ominous lights.
Echoes of suffering reverberate with power.
We still have time to save them.
The asylum will soon open like a festering wound.
The area around the asylum seems abandoned.
They lurk below the asylum, ready to follow the scent of blood.
We've received reports of citizens gone missing.
True power requires sacrifice.
Enough chat. Prepare, ladies and gents.
The hunger rises.
You are a shield that protects from what doesn't exist.
You are nourishment. Fuel that will open the gate.
Remember your training.
Humans are powerless.
We might need to awaken the forbidden.
It is already awake.
You are below.
You are prey.
So this is the game designed by Thomas Holek, author of one of the best board games published last year, CET. And he showed us the prototype and we instantly fell in love with it. We knew that this is the game we really want to work on it because it is thematic, it is a horror, and it was just great gameplay design, and we were like, oh yes, this is something that we definitely want to work on with. We have a good experience with bringing horror thematic experience after Nemesis, so we decided to jump right into it, and this is how the game came to be. It will have like a different settings. The base setting for the campaign will be an asylum, so you can expect a lot of crazy horror designs, creatures, but also like a very cool, dense theme throughout the game. As a players, you will be fighting crazy monsters, you will be performing rituals, you will be traveling between two worlds. So a lot of fun, but I will let Thomas talk about gameplay a little bit more. I will just mention that the campaign page is up. The campaign will happen between Q3 and Q4 this year. Make sure to follow it and make sure to let us know what you guys think and what would you like to see. And now let's go to Thomas.
Hello, my name is Tomáš Holek and I'm thrilled to announce my latest project, B.E.L.O.W. Asylum, an action horror cooperative game developed with the fantastic team at Awaken. I'm the designer of SETI, Galileo Galilei and Tea Garden, and with B.E.L.O.W Asylum I'm taking the next step into a new genre of board games that I'm excited to dive into. As the game is still in development, I can't go in too many details about the mechanics just yet, but I can share some of the exciting elements we are working on. In B.E.L.O.W Asylum, players are exorcists from the Bureau of Exorcism, Liminality and Occult Warfare, called to an old asylum where horrific experiments have unleashed evil. Your mission is to rid the asylum of this darkness. The game's core mechanic revolves around traveling between two worlds. The first is the familiar asylum, but increasingly dangerous, while the second world is darker, more dangerous and full of greater threats. As you venture deeper in this second realm, you draw closer to death, but also grow stronger. The two worlds share the same shape but feature different layouts, and the travel between them can be used strategically to outmaneuver enemies or reach areas that would otherwise be inaccessible. This project is dream come true for me, and I'm honored to be working with Awaken Realms. I can't wait for you to experience it. And thank you for your support, and I hope you will join us in this descent into madness.
2025 will be also a year we will be publish our biggest video game ever, Tainted Grail, the Fall of Avalon, our true open world RPG experience. It will release in Q2 2025. We've been working on it for a long time, a lot in the early access, and the final premiere will have both PC and consoles, so check it out.
I remember arriving on the shores of Avalon. That was the beginning of everything. We left the homeland to survive. If we wanted to call this place home, we'd have to fight for it, down to the last drop of blood. The Red Death returned like a spectre to haunt us. Once again, it began to devour our home. And you? Why are you here?
So Tainted Grail will be our biggest video game premiere ever, so we wanted to do something special to celebrate it. So we have crafted a special collector's edition, since we have a lot of experience doing miniatures and physical stuff and shipping it to people. So the centerpiece of the collector's edition will be huge King's Arthur miniature and a lot of other cool components. So if this is something that might be interesting for you, whether you're a fan of collector's edition or Tainted Grail universe or the video game, make sure to follow the campaign on GameFound and also share your feedback.
What I'm most excited about the upcoming release of Tainted Grail is to follow and read the experiences of all the players. I'm really curious about their reactions to some of the weirdest designs we prepared for them. There are still some things to see that weren't available in the early access, some interesting monsters and mysteries and characters that challenge what we consider to be normal or mainstream in this genre of video games.
One more smaller announcement that we have, and it is unique because, again, it's not for this year, but for 2026. But since the campaign will happen in Q1, we want to announce it now. And it will be another kind of special edition, but this one will be a bit different. So yep, let's check out the announcement.
Once upon a time, there was a labyrinth, a magical place full of wonders and mysteries. Those who had been there and came back told unbelievable stories of its ever-changing walls and shifting corridors. A mind-boggling challenge, indeed, that only the bravest could tackle. But it was worth it, they say, as the dark nooks of the labyrinth hide real treasures. What are they? Who knows? The labyrinth waits there for you.
Labyrinth is one of the most well-known games from Ravensburger. It sold millions of copies around the world. And together with Ravensburger, we wanted to create something kind of special in terms of taking the game that was extremely successful in the mass market and make a little bit more gamer version of it with those pretty cool components. And I think that we managed to do that with really awesome 3D labyrinth and miniatures and a little bit of more gamer rule set. It is still very much on the lighter side. Janek, the designer that worked on the game, will talk more about it. I just wanted to say that the draft campaign page is up, so make sure to follow it, make sure to let us know what you feel, share your feedback. What I wanted to say is that this campaign will be in 2026, the Q1, but the draft page is up right now. We're announcing it now because it will happen probably before the next year Awaken Realms next, so we wanted to take this opportunity to let you guys know that it will be coming, and also check out, it is looking pretty cool. So let's give it to Janek.
Hi, my name is Janek Truchanowicz and I'm a designer of Labyrinth Adventure Edition. In this Adventure Edition we tried to make something different than we made in our previous games like Puerto Rico or Castles of Burgundy. We made campaign mode, which we will explore the world of the Labyrinth, which is wrote by our famous writers, and you will try to explore the mechanism which you will learn from game to game. Since the beginning of creation New Labyrinth, we try to make the game for every player, for the families, for the childs, and for the hardcore players. And we was testing on these groups, and each group have found something for themselves. The core game, the campaign mode, the story behind that, and beautiful arts created by our artist. I'm really excited to show it all to you, and we will see that during the next months and during campaign, which we will see later. Hope you enjoy it and see you during the updates.
Als ich vor 40 Jahren das verrückte Labyrinth erfand, habe ich mir nicht träumen lassen, welch großer Erfolg das würde. Über 30 Millionen verkaufte Exemplare. Jetzt aber ist ein Traum in Erfüllung gegangen, den ich schon von Anfang an hatte. Ein großes, dreidimensionales Labyrinth mit richtigen Mauern. Ein Highlight der Labyrinth-Familie. Hier können die Spieler richtig eintauchen und Abenteuer voller Überraschungen erleben.
You know, we wanted to make a game that is aimed to more adult audience, and we wanted to combine it into something, you know, that how family could be entertained by it and have fun together.
Before we'll go to our final announcement, let's just take a super short break to see what campaigns are active right now on GameFound. Some really cool projects that you can still late pledge, so make sure to check it out.
In working with board games, I like the most, I think, creating concepts for the world, the environment, and the characters. I like that we can let our imagination run wild. Also, I really like that we can show off with our illustrations and that they go directly to the players so they can give their feedback and say what they like or what they don't like, so we can correct it and they are happy with the final product.
Hi, my name is Krzysztof Piskorski and I am the lead writer and co-designer of Lands of Evershade. And I'm here to thank all of you for the enormous interest you've shown in the game during its crowdfunding campaign. Evershade is our brand new setting that we've developed for a long while, and we have a plan to support it in future with many new stories, adventures, and perhaps even new games. That's why it was incredible for me and the rest of the Lands of Evershade team to see engagement we had with you during the campaign, to see the number of your comments and to see all thoughts you've left under the updates. And I think I'd like to assure you that nothing was lost. After the campaign was finished, we went back and read through all of your comments. We've analyzed the feedback from content creators, reviewers and testers who played the game in the meantime. In fact, we had so much feedback. It took us almost a week to go through everything. But as a result, I think the game is better off for it, and no small improvement was left without at least a good discussion. Right now, the team that works on Lands of Evershade has essentially doubled. We now have a second content team made up of veteran Awaken Realms content creators. So we are developing 2 major adventures at the same time. We have new artwork and new 3D models coming in daily. And we have an ambitious schedule of external tests. In fact, some of these tests that will go through the adventures we are developing currently should start very shortly, late February, early March. We also have one more chance for players who missed out on the Lands of Evershade campaign. Pledge Manager is opening right now, so if you'd like to see what Evershade is about, this is your good opportunity to catch up. We will be notifying you about all the updates in the game development through GameFound updates, and I hope to see you again either in update comments or during the testing or when the final game launches, sometime late 2025, early 2026. Until then, thank you and see ya!
My favorite game from Awaken Realms. I think it's illegal to say it like this, but Lands of Evershade. It's not published yet, but I'm currently working on it. And if people, when they will play it, will have half of the fun I'm having when working on this game, it will be a hit. And I think it will be even better.
Time for our final announcement, and this will be a Season 2 of the cutest game that we have ever made. Really excited, really cool universe, really cool gameplays. Currently it's delivering to the players around the world. Right now we're announcing the Season 2, so let's take a look at the trailer.
Let me tell you a story about a world you do not remember. A world we shared with others, folks similar to us, but not quite the same. And differences, you see, like wild beasts, like the elements themselves, are hard to tame and keep in harmony. The 2 nations thought they'd found a way to control them, turning their animosities into games and tournaments. The hatred was real, though. It couldn't be simply played with. It made them miss all the warning signs of a greater imbalance in the world. Would you turn a blind eye to the lands crumbling? Whole villages vanishing? Would you ignore the emergence of the Dragon Guardian itself? Well, they did. And this is what my story is about.
Dragon Eclipse was a very unique game for us to design because we went for much lighter fantasy than we would normally go, and we also went for like a big focus on 1 to 2 player. It's an extremely cute game. You have so many awesome looking mistlings to choose from. You can have a really cool adventure mode with a very cool, very light story. Also very cool tactical combat that is easy to get into. And you're just roaming around this magical world, fighting mistlings, trying to tame them, care for them, and have these awesome adventures. But also, after you finished, you can play PvP with all the mistlings that you have, create your own deck, and test yourself. It is really cool to play yourself or with your families. And we're really happy about this world. We definitely want to develop it further. That is why we're announcing the Season 2 of Dragon Eclipse. Right now the campaign is delivering to the backers around the world, the English editions, and the response is really great. We're so happy to see so many people enjoying the game that we have created. We are announcing the game now, but it will only happen once all the backers will receive their pledges. That includes language editions, so it will happen probably very end of Q4 2025, but the draft page of the campaign is live right now. You can make sure to follow it and also share your feedback. What would you like to see more, what you don't like, and what are your general thoughts. And now let's hear from Kamil, who is the creative director of the series. He'll have a little bit more insight into what is coming next.
Hey guys, my name is Kamil and I am a producer and one of the designers of Dragon Eclipse. As Marcin told, we are going to show you the Dragon Eclipse 2nd edition. This time, the adventure, the story, happens about 1000 years earlier. So you can expect, and we are going to explain you, what happens with the first eclipse, how started the war between the humans and Fae, and we are going to bring the new elemental, Steel, and the dark story behind it. But what is really exciting is that the story is going to be built around the ground tournament. And by a ground tournament, I mean epic battles, duel between the tamers. I won't spoil everything, don't worry. But you can expect many new mistlings. The cute ones, the extraordinary ones, the strange ones, maybe the dark ones as well. What is really important for me is that the Dragon Eclipse is a gate created for you, but with you. What do I mean? I mean, we are reading your feedback, we are reading your comments, we are thinking about it and trying to implement that into the game. So feel free, write your thoughts, share with us your experience, and together let's create some awesome adventure epic board game with a mistlings. Thank you very much.
So the favorite project that I had a pleasure working on, I think, is Dragon Eclipse, the foray into the Shadow Realm expansion, which I have had the pleasure designing on my own and had a very large amount of room to learn from.
Right, so one last thing that I also wanted to mention is Ludo Mentor app, something that we have created to help you assist during your plays. This is your AI assistant that will answer questions you might have regarding the game you play. So it is not there to teach you the game, but whenever you're playing and you're not certain about some rule or you don't know what to do, you can always ask it, even speak or write in your native language, and it should answer you with a good response. And hopefully it will help the fluency of the play. You don't have to wait for someone to respond to you on BGG, and make the game flow faster, especially that some of our games can be a little bit rules heavy, so that's why we thought that, oh, this will be actually something cool to do, so hopefully you guys will enjoy it.
The one thing I value the most working here is cooperating with many different people that do a lot of different stuff that we have to put together to make a final thing for you to see.
What I like the most about working with board games is seeing the evolution of the game from the prototype to final game, especially when I see a game that is printed and it's no longer a file on my computer, but it's something that is real.
Alright guys, so this is it for Awaken Realms 2025 edition. Thank you for being here, and also thank you for all the support throughout the years. 10 years, over 10 years of Awaken Realms, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of hard work, a lot of crazy projects, crazy stuff. It was quite a journey, and it's awesome to have you guys along in this journey. Hopefully a lot of cool stuff before us too. So make sure to check out all the GameFound campaigns that we have announced, and make sure also to share your feedback. We always love to hear what you guys think. That's it. Thank you very much and take care.
I akcja.